Good morning, everybody, or afternoon or evening, depending on where you are logging in from. You are watching Ask Doc Live. This program is brought to you as a resource that provides information that you won't find anywhere else. So my name is Rebecca Kozak, and I will be your host for the next 2 hours here on Ask Doc Live. This program is sponsored by Ask Doc Live.
Sounds like somebody's pulling a suitcase across the microphone.
Let's see if we can stop that. All right, Jonty, I don't have my normal options here. Can you mute everybody as they come in? And
no, I mean they are muted. Zoom does something weird every week, I swear, that it's not supposed to. I will try and figure out how to mute that particular microphone as quickly as I can.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, back to where we were. So one thing I want to really make sure is that somebody invited you to watch this video, whether you're on here with us live or watching a replay. Make sure you get back with the person that shared this program with you. They have a vested interest in making sure that you get the information you need. And where we do have a store for people who have never ordered before, we want you to get back with the person that shared this program with you, because they have a store also. So I just love the fact that we are able to be this resource that is shared around the world, because the information that we share is vital. It's vital. I mean, it can be life-changing for people. So, and it pertains to everybody, not just in one state, not just in one city, but around the world. Now, the content of this program is to provide educational information only on the importance of nutrition and supplementation in a world where the food supply is empty and void of what the body needs, not just to survive, but to thrive. So in this program, we will be sharing nutritional options that are available through supplementation in a form that the body can actually absorb and utilize. The FDA requires us to let you know that our products are not meant to treat, prevent, diagnose, or cure any diseases. And this program is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician. But we bring good news. The genetics theory has been proven incorrect through the science of epigenetics, which is the study of how your own behaviors and environment can cause changes that affect the way your genes work. With epigenetics, you are an empowered individual. So I hope you feel empowered, because you have more control over your health journey than you think. And we invite you to feel the difference with the options shared in this program. And to guide us, we are absolutely honored to have one of the founding fathers of epigenetics here to share the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health based on what people are experiencing. Now, this is a call in and we are recording live. So if you have questions, make sure you use the Zoom option to raise your hand. Raise your hand early, because we will be getting to those hands in the order that they are raised. Now, any testimonials that are shared on this program are that of the individual. We don't solicit people to come on, but we love the fact that people are excited about finding options that they have control over, that is not masking symptoms, but actually doing the body good. So, Dr. Wallach, thank you again for being on with us for this 2 hours. We greatly appreciate you, and welcome to Ask Doc Live.
Well, thank you so much, Rebecca and team. Really appreciate all that you do every week. It's a big job, and I appreciate it. Let's see here. We have so much to cover, but I want to start with the fact that our goal is to add 25 to 50 healthful years to people's lives. And to do that takes a little bit of effort on everybody's part. but it's well worth it. You'll save yourself an enormous amount of unnecessary misery. You'll save yourself an enormous amount of money and time by doing these things. And so I want to start out with a comparison of who is most successful. You'd think that America, with, quote, the very best medical system in the world, unquote, out of the mouths of medical doctors. Remember my book, my CD, Dead Doctors Don't Lie. My book is in 2 languages, English and Spanish, and the CD is in 9 languages. Goes around the world. We've sold over 600 million copies of the CD in 9 languages. And it's because, as you say, the genetic theory was a very bad theory. It actually started in 1982 when 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882, on Pearl Street, New York City, in the bluff overlooking the construction of the Brooklyn Bridge, Thomas Edison and Jonathan Leaves pulled the switch in the first commercial electric generating plant. Within 6 to 10 years, we're getting all these diseases, 40, 50 diseases nobody ever seen before. And there was this new science called genetics. So doctors were blaming on genetics because they didn't know anything about these diseases. And they said, oh, it's got to be a genetic thing, one of those genetic things. And they didn't know how to deal with them. But they were just simple nutritional deficiency diseases, because prior to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882, everybody had a wood stove, and we're using wood for fuel. Everybody's, including me, when I was a kid, my goal or my job, I'd get whipped if I didn't do it, was to take the wood ashes out every morning and put them in the garden. Wood ashes were not just carbon, they were minerals that were left that the tree had sucked up out of the ground when you burnt the wood. The minerals were in the wood ashes. We put them in the garden for the carrots and the tomatoes and the beans and the squash and the onions and bell peppers and so forth. And we also, grandma would eat the wood ashes, and she'd sneak them into the kids' foods and so forth. So we were getting these minerals for the wood ashes going into our food and to our gardens. And so we're getting all these minerals back then. Now it varied from location to location. Some places had 3 minerals, some places had 15, some places had 20, but you were getting some minerals you weren't getting. Nobody was going to leave, you had no wood ashes when you had an electric stove. And so it changed everything. It actually killed the world when we went to electricity for cooking, because everybody who'd been supplementing for thousands of years with wood ashes lost them almost overnight. Okay, so let's do a little comparison here. See who's most successful. Remember, we're supposed to have the best medical system in the world. Doctors beat their chest like Tarzan on top of their X-ray machine and tell them we have the best medical system in the world. Okay, well, here we go. Up until about 6 months ago, our average lifespan in America was 79, which is not good, because the human life expectancy is 155. So we were leaving 76 years on the table. And about 6 months ago, the CDC, Center for Disease Control, came out and said our lifespan had dropped from, let's see here, from 79 to 75. So now we're leaving 80 years on the table. Okay. And what happened? Well, we had the pandemic thing with the COVID-19, and everybody was eating badly and losing their jobs and not buying supplements and eating all the bad foods and everything. And so our lifespan dropped from 79 to 75 in like about 2 years. Medical doctors, that kind of freaked me out. CDC also looked at the lifespan of medical doctors. It had been 59 up until 6 months ago. And they list, especially the doctors in the emergency room, their lifespan is only 57. They leave 98 years on the table. Okay, so they're supposed to be the healers, and they can't even take care of themselves. When you look at the Black community in the United States, BLM, Black Lives Matter, they had lived to be an average of 72, leaving 83 years on the table. The Latinos in America, their average lifespan is 81.8, so they're only leaving 73 years on the table. Okay, now China, average lifespan is 74, they leave 81 years on the table. Japan, their lifespan is 84, they leave only 71 years on the table. The Filipinos are not good. Their average lifespan is 69.6. They're leaving 80 something years on the table, 85 years on the table, 85.4 years on the table. Australia lives to be 83. They do very well. They leave 72 years on the table. The UK, our parent country, the UK lives to be 81. They leave 74 years on the table. India lives to be 70. They leave 85 years on the table. And lastly, Vietnam lives to be 76, and they leave 74 years on the table. Now, the longest lived peoples are in Hunza It's a small nation between Pakistan and China up near the Gilgit Glacier. And they get all these minerals. The glacier grinds up, and you've heard of the book Lost Horizon, written by James Hilton, and the movie that came out in 1929. The movie came out in 1933, Lost Horizon. It was a story of all these people who lived in a valley of Shangri-La, where Hunza is. And everybody thought Shangri-La was a mythical place. No, it's a real place. These are the longest lived people on Earth. Their average lifespan is 120. They're only leaving 35 years on the table, but their range, okay, is from 85 to 165. But their average is 120. Well, based on that, Dr. Milan and I wrote a book called Immortality, because we wanted to catalog all the things that the long-lived people did and show what they purposely avoided and what they purposely positively did. And it's all in this book, Immortality. It's available through your bookstore, I think. Yep, and you can get it. It's called Immortality. Of course, then we have Hell's Kitchen, which is a story of electricity and how to really, electricity has been very negative for us health-wise, because we lost our minerals because we didn't have wood ashes anymore. There's 2 CDs that go along with that book, Hell's Kitchen. And then of course the book Epigenetics. As you say, I'm one of the co-founders with Bruce Lipton of the Science of Epigenetics. The book is entitled The Death of the Genetic Theory of Disease Transmission. Epigenetics, the death of the genetic theory of disease transmission. And then of course, let's see here. We have another book, and people have been asking me for, gosh, 20 years, do you have recipes? Do you have recipes? I really didn't want to, but I had a challenge with 3 professional chefs. They had TV shows, and they're big chefs in big restaurants at hotels and everything in Eastern Canada. We did a 3-year study, and they ran my recipes in their restaurants for 3 years. And they gave out, what do you call it? Papers that people could fill out and tell us what they thought about the meals and so forth, and inquiries. And it came out, they were shocked how many people liked my recipes. And so we came up with a book. It's called Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. It's 300 pages of recipes that are gluten-free and oil-free and fried food-free. 300 pages. And it is selling like crazy. People have been looking for this kind of information forever. So you guys also have access to that. Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. Now, to go to the question of the day, one of the big stigmas in the medical system was another big mistake they made. They demonized cholesterol. Cholesterol makes up 95% of testosterone and 95% of estrogen. So if you go on a cholesterol reduced diet and take a drug that lowers your cholesterol, okay, you take a statin drug to lower your cholesterol, you're going to have ED, erectile dysfunction. You're going through menopause when you're 28. Okay, it's one of those things. Oh, and they created a new disease called Alzheimer's disease, because 75% of your brain weight is cholesterol. You must eat 3 eggs twice a day with soft yolk, soft boiled, soft yolk, soft poached, soft yolk, soft scrambled butter. Hard boiled eggs don't count because you ruined the cholesterol, and fried eggs will give you cancer. Well, I've been eating 3 eggs twice a day for 74 years. I've been gluten-free for 74 years and taking the 90 essential nutrients for 74 years. In a couple of months, it's going to be 75 years. I'm going to be 83 years old pretty soon here. All right. And it's one of those things where they really screwed it up badly. I'm going to give you one case report, if I may, on cholesterol, and we go deeper into it. This is very dramatic. This guy by the name of Ray McGregor in North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, was diagnosed by his personal physician as having Alzheimer's disease. He had a memory problem. He was in his 40s, and he was a bookkeeper, kind of a bookworm kind of guy, and figures and so forth. And his name is Ray McGregor. I should say is Ray McGregor. And they put him on oral pharmaceuticals to help his memory, memory drugs. Okay. And at the 3rd year, he goes into a coma. They put him into a nursing home, and they gave him a G tube, put a hole in his belly and put a tube in there. They were feeding him Ensure, those prepared liquid meals that are made out of oil, the worst possible thing they could do. And they're feeding him this Ensure through his G tube 3 times a day. And also they gave him IVs every day with electrolytes. So, he had that sort of stuff, and didn't dehydrate and everything. And then at the 3rd year, he was really going downhill. He was spiraling downhill very fastly, very rapidly. And the nursing home went to his sister and said, we're going to have to ask you to pull the plug on Ray. He's going downhill and he may last another month or 2 or 3, but we have people who are waiting in line to get in here. They need to be in that space. And he's going to die in weeks or a month or so anyway. Give us permission to pull the plug so this will happen quicker. And so she calls me in the middle of the night and she was screaming and crying and told me the story about her brother. And I said, get him to give you 90 days. Get him to give you 90 days. Even if you have to pay extra, give him 90 days. And so 3 days later, I had to fly out to North Carolina. And we were beginning our shakes and everything back then. And so we had not the weight loss shakes, but just our shakes. And it didn't matter what flavor it was because it's going in through his G tube and he's unconscious for 8 years. He was in a coma for 8 years. He was in a coma for 8 years, near death at this point. And so I said, okay, we need to give him 3 of these shakes a day, 1 at breakfast, 1 at lunch, 1 at dinner time through his G tube. I want you to scramble up really soft, runny scrambled eggs and butter and put 3 in each meal, at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I want you also to get him off of statin drugs, got to get him off the statin drugs he's on. I want him to have also 3 doses of our Healthy Brain and Heart Pack ground up and put in that shake with the eggs. And I want you to make that shake, not with water like the directions say, I want you to make it with heavy cream. So you're going to go through a pint of heavy cream 3 times a day. Okay. I want to get the good fats into him as fast as possible. I want the cholesterol in his brain as fast as possible. And then I want him to have the 3 doses of Healthy Brain and Heart Packs. I want him to have the de-stress capsules. I want him to have the Ultimate Niacin Plus. I want him to have the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets three times a day in case he had vascular dementia, because I'm not positive about their diagnoses. So I said he could have vascular dementia. So we're going to go that direction too, and so on. And so we really ramped him up. And I said, you're going to have to do this because they're not going to do this. They'll say, no, we're not going to do it. And she said, I will do it. And so she did. And she was prepared to do this for the 90 days. Well, she calls me in 3 days. She's screaming her brother's name, Ray McGregor, screaming and screaming. And of course, it was noon her time. It was only 9 o'clock my time. I said, okay, calm down. How's your brother doing? She says, well, he woke up. He didn't realize that he was in a coma for 8 years and he shaved and went back to work. Now, he was a vice president of a bank. Okay. And the people who are there now didn't know him 8 years ago because they just are all new employees. And they thought he was some clever crook trying to rob the bank, claiming he was an officer in the bank. So they called the cops, and that bank is streaming with all the cops in that bank and everything because they figured he was a thief trying to rob the bank. It was a big story. Okay. And it just took 3 days to correct what they had been messing up for 11 years. Now, cholesterol is an essential nutrient like oxygen and water and vitamin D3 and calcium and vitamin A and so forth. And so when do you start eating cholesterol? I want you to eat cholesterol a year before you're conceived. I want your mother to be eating cholesterol. I want your father to be eating cholesterol. You can't have it fried. You can't have it burnt. Okay, the eggs have to be soft boiled or soft scrambled in butter. You don't want to be like Rocky and eat them raw because there's enzymes in the white of the egg that will kill other vitamins. So you have to not eat raw eggs like Rocky, but you can have soft scrambled, soft boiled, soft poached. And don't forget the kids. They got to have their eggs and you got to yum them and all happy about them. So they'll want them too. And don't forget the kids toddy. Don't forget the EFA that goes with the kids toddy. And again, you want to be taking nutrition for at least a year before you get pregnant, which means from before you're born, your mom needs to be taking all these things. You need to be taking them throughout all the pregnancy from the moment you're born. I just freak out when somebody says, well, yeah, I wasn't taking any birth control and I wasn't taking any vitamins, minerals. I missed 2 periods. So I went to the drugstore and got one of those pregnancy tests and I peed on the strip and I was pregnant. I was 2 months pregnant already. Well, that means the baby was already formed. There's all these birth defects that the baby was susceptible to because you weren't taking any vitamins and minerals. And then what's going to happen when you do a scan here in a month? Oh, and the baby's got cleft palate, spina bifida, and Down syndrome. What are you going to do? That was all totally preventable. You have to be taking these nutrients, even though you're not planning a pregnancy. Okay, you have a spare tire in the car. Even if you're not planning for a flat tire, you still have a spare tire back there just in case. Okay. And so you need to do the same thing with these nutrients. And then people say, well, how long do I have to stay on this diet and these nutrients? Well, how long do you need oxygen? How long do you need water? How long do you need the 90 essential nutrients? Forever. And so this is a big thing. And we really have to be proactive and aggressive of getting these nutrients into ourselves, into our kids. Don't forget the kids toddy. We also have one called Cal Toddy. This is good for both kids and adults. Cal Toddy is calcium liquid. It's a liquid. It tastes very good. And also it has vitamin D3 added to it. It also has, let's see here, collagen added to it. And so I add a little bit. I add maybe a half ounce at breakfast and a half ounce at dinner with my liquid drinks. If you have too much, it tastes good. So it's really, you want to just guzzle that stuff down, but you'll get diarrhea if you take too much because there's a lot of magnesium in there. So it will give you a loose stool. So you want to stay at the dose for an adult, a half ounce twice a day, and a little kid, maybe a couple of drops twice a day to start out with, twice a day. And because you don't want them to get diarrhea because of all that magnesium. But at any rate, cholesterol is an essential nutrient. Don't be afraid of cholesterol. You want to be afraid of when your doctor says, you know, you're getting to that age, I'm going to put you on some statin drugs and help prevent plaque in your arteries. Well, it's not cholesterol that causes plaque in your arteries. It doesn't cause plaque in your coronary arteries. It doesn't cause plaque in your brains. It doesn't cause plaque in your kidneys. It doesn't cause plaque anywhere. The plaque in your arteries is caused by salad dressings and cooking oils and fried foods. Okay. It's like the devil saying, well, that angel is the one that killed you. Okay. And so the same thing, the cholesterol thing, they came up with a statin drug to lower cholesterol, and doctors sent their kids through colleges with all the prescriptions on statin drugs for cholesterol. Cholesterol is an essential nutrient. Don't let them talk you into getting on statin drugs. They say you should be below 200. You know, and your blood test should say, you know, 190, something like that. No, you're gonna wind up getting Alzheimer's disease and ED and menopause. And so you don't want to do that. You want to be at 350 to 500 for cholesterol. Remember, that's not the thing that's blocking your arteries. They've demonized cholesterol when they should be demonizing the oil-based salad dressings and fried foods. So that's the story of cholesterol.
It's the oil and salad dressings and fried foods
That cause plaque in your arteries.
When we're talking about the oil, yeah, when we're talking about the oil, we're talking about olive oil, soybean oil, canola oil, peanut oil. I mean,
That's correct.
all of these oils are what's actually causing that plaque in the arteries, not cholesterol.
That's correct. Now, if you want, if you like
I know
olives,
I get so many questions. Well, I'm on a statin now. How can I
get off of it? Just say, don't fulfill your prescription again and change doctors. Go find another doctor. Okay. Because your doctor's just been milking your insurance policy and didn't feel guilty about it because insurance is paying for it. But if you like olive oil, what you want to do is get fresh olives, you know, picked a day ago and eat the olive. Don't be getting olive oil in a bottle. Don't be getting olive oil, fish that are packed in olive oil, you know, like sardines and things like that. Oh, that is bad. Okay, I get sardines, but I get them packed in water in the cans. Okay, they're packed in water, not oil. You can do that. They sell that kind of stuff. And so it's one of those things where you really have to pay attention to the details. You got to read labels because this hysteria over cholesterol has made the medical system trillions of dollars, not millions, not billions, trillions of dollars. They've sent all their kids through college on your fear of cholesterol. And of course, the first thing they teach medical students, Rebecca, I don't know if you know this, this is one of the first things they teach medical students. It's their mantra in medical school. If you cure a patient, you lose a customer. Our goal is to manage the disease for the rest of the patient's life. You want to manage it. If you make them feel good by giving them a pharmaceutical that relieves their symptoms, they're happy. And they'll keep fulfilling that prescription and you keep getting your little royalty. But if you cure them, they won't call you for once every 10 years.
So what happened to the Hippocratic Oath, Dr. Wallach?
Well, I think probably the devil has the equivalent to the Hippocratic Oath. Okay, it's one of those things where they say, yes, look at us, we have the Hippocratic Oath. We take an oath in school that we are going to take care of our patients. Well, take care of the patient. Now, imagine somebody who's been in arthritic pain, they can't walk, they're in a wheelchair for 20 years, they come out with this new drug, and they give them this new drug and it gets rid of all their pain. They're able to walk for the first time in 20 years. Do you think they like that doctor? My doctor's wonderful. I just love my doctor. I've been crippled for 20 years. He gave me this new drug and now I can walk. I have to use a cane, but I don't need a wheelchair anymore. And I'm going to leave everything in my will to my doctor. I just love my doctor because you relieve the pain. Okay. And so everybody's happy, but it's not the truth, because the truth was the arthritis, the osteoporosis is due to a nutritional deficiency. Why is my book, It's All in Your Head, selling so well? There's 25 different diseases the doctors were treating with cortisone, prednisone, antibiotics, and all kinds of other drugs. And they were getting symptomatic relief, but they were telling them, you know, you have sciatica, you have a back problem, you have carpal tunnel syndrome and trigger finger in your wrists and hands, you have psoriasis and all this kind of stuff. And these are autoimmune disease. You have lupus, the autoimmune disease. No, they were eating gluten and not supplementing. And they had an osteoporosis of the skull. And that book, It's All in Your Head, covers 25 different diseases. The doctors diagnose as other things, which is osteoporosis of the skull, squeezing the 12 pairs of cranial nerves in the spinal cord. And when you treat it as osteoporosis of the skull, I actually had a patient call me a couple of weeks ago and say, well, I talked to my doctor about this osteoporosis of the skull thing. And he laughed. He said, there's no such thing. It's never been reported there's osteoporosis of the skull. It's only in your limb bones, your pelvis, your vertebrae, and that kind of stuff. It's never been reported in the skull. Well, that's because it's called Paget's disease in the skull. They knew about it 300 years ago. There was a physician who's doing autopsy on his patients that had all these problems, and he was looking at their skull, and the skull was an inch thick. This is 300 years ago. And he named it after himself, Paget. He was an English physician. And he thought it was an autoimmune disease. The body's attacking itself. He didn't know it was a nutritional deficiency. And so that just came on down the line for 300 years. As Paget says, autoimmune disease. They don't think of it as being a nutritional deficiency disease. And so that's why we came out with the book, It's All in Your Head. It sells like crazy because, oh, that's me. I got that problem. Oh, that's me. I got that problem. I've got carpal tunnel syndrome. I got trigger finger. I have numbness and tingling in my hands and wrists. The doctors say, well, I've got a autoimmune disease. It might be lupus. And I've got rosacea of the face, which is kind of eczema of the face. And I got psoriasis. And I've got another one that says autoimmune is rheumatoid arthritis. Rheumatoid arthritis is just a nutritional deficiency arthritis with a secondary infection with a bug called mycoplasma, which is killable with an antibiotic called minocycline, like the little bait fish minnow. 6 to 8 week course of minocycline. I don't care if you've had rheumatoid arthritis for 40 years, you won't be a rheumatoid arthritis patient anymore after, say, 90 days, because you're going to be taking the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack and the minocycline. You got to get a prescription for the minocycline. So get your doctor to give you a prescription for minocycline. He's probably never heard of that antibiotic. Okay, but you need a 6 to 8 week course. And it has nothing to do with your immune system attacking your own body. Okay, there's a term for that. Is there a scientific term called crapola? And that's, and so that's how the doctors get away with this stuff. And that's why I came out with the book and the CD and the audio cassette tape in 9 languages. Dead doctors don't lie.
Now, Dr. Wallach, you know, I'll have somebody say, well, I only have arthritis in my knees, nowhere else. And I want to really just look at that. If you've got something going on in one part of the body, how do you think that that is only concentrated in that one part of the body when the whole body is made up of a skeletal structure?
Yeah, well, the doctor tells them, well, you got a gene for your knee arthritis, right? That's what they tell them. Okay. And so basically what happens is if you're on your feet a lot and you're just doing paperwork, we're going to show arthritis. It's going to be in your knees. It's not going to be in your shoulders and elbows because a pen isn't very heavy. But your body may be 120 to 180, 200 pounds. You're going up and down the stairs. Okay, you have to walk from the parking lot, up some stairs in the parking lot to your to your workplace. And then, it's one of those things where everybody tells you exercise is good for you. So you try to exercise at the gym. It's putting more stress on your knees and your hips and your back. But your arms, you're not doing anything with your arms. Okay. And so that's why they don't get the same thing everywhere else. Well, what happens in the skull is those 12 pairs of cranial nerves, there's 12 come out of the brain here and 12 come out of the brain here. And out of the back of the skull comes your spinal cord. Most people don't realize it, Rebecca, that your spinal cord is made in the brain. It comes out of the back of the skull. And all of these nerves, including your spinal cord and your 12 pairs of cranial nerves, come out of these little tunnels. And when you get, we're going to try and change the name from Paget's disease to Wallach's disease. All those tunnels get filled up with this connective tissue when you have osteoporosis of the skull. And start squeezing those nerves. Have you ever heard of Bell's palsy where one side of your face droops?
Absolutely.
Well, the skull is squeezing the seventh cranial nerve, the facial nerve. What about trigeminal neuralgia, pain in your face? Okay, your skull is squeezing the fifth cranial nerve. Okay, the trigeminal nerve. And then let's see here. When you have a gradual blindness, the doctor said, "Oh, you have problems going on with your eyes. You're blind. You're going to have to wear glasses and so forth." Well, the optic nerve, ONA, and the optic artery, and the optic vein is being squeezed by the skull as they're going from the skull or from the brain through the skull to the back of the eye. It's all being squeezed. Okay, and the doctors will say, you have this disease, that disease of the eye, but really it's just osteoporosis of the skull squeezing the optic nerve, the optic artery, and the optic vein. And then let's see here. There's tinnitus, ringing in the ears and whooshing and buzzing noises in the ear. That's your brain squeezing the auditory branch of the eighth cranial nerve. And people, they get dizzy when they get up in the morning. Oof, I had to hold on to the bed for a few minutes here. Or they're just walking along and start getting vertigo. I call it Wallach's vertigo, because again, that's the vestibular branch of the eighth cranial nerve being squeezed. Are you seeing my point here? It's all caused by osteoporosis of the skull. And so these are red warning lights. When you get tinnitus or ringing in your ears, it tells you already have osteoporosis of the skull. You better jump on this really quickly and be sure you're throwing in that Cal-Toddy into it. You want more vitamin D3. You want more calcium. You want the MSM to help rebuild the skull and all the other bones in your body, because you got osteoporosis in the skull, you got osteoporosis in every bone in your body.
Now, Dr. Wallach, let's go back to the cholesterol real quick, because we have some questions that have come in the chat wanting to know about coconut oil, grapeseed oil, MCT oil.
Have you ever heard of oil? No oils.
All right. No oils.
No oil. Now, if you eat a piece of coconut, that's probably okay. If it says pick that year and hasn't been in a warehouse at 120 degrees for 2 years. But if that coconut's just been picked off the tree and you crack it and you eat some of that coconut, the oil in there is okay. But if that coconut's been in the shipping and in storage and warehousing and so forth for months, it's already oxidized and turned into something bad. So you have to be the one to pull it off the tree. Okay, same way with the olive, same way with soy oil and that kind of stuff. Don't do it. It's just, if you are getting soybeans from a farm market and they're just picked, soybeans just picked, you're getting them from the farmer's market, then you can eat those soybeans. You'll get a little bit of good, safe oil because it's just a couple of days old, or maybe not even that. Okay, that's safe. But when you start getting soy oil and salad dressings with all these different oils in it, well, the coconut oil is fine. Just think of all these people, in the islands. Well, the Philippines have the worst record. They eat a lot of coconut oil. They eat a lot of soy oil. Okay, in the Philippines, and their average lifespan is only 69.6.
So, and one of the reasons why we're saying don't eat the oils is because you're taking it out of its natural state where it's being preserved and has all of the things needed for that seed to reproduce. So like grapeseed oil, the coconut not being a seed.
Yes, you don't want those oils.
Yeah, just cut them out. Use butter and ghee and lard.
And people say, they'll jump in here. They say, well, my doctor said stay away from dairy because of the fats. Well, what's the first food that a newborn mammal vertebrate eats, whether it's a whale or a wombat or a giraffe or a human being or a dog or a cat or a horse, a cow, any kind of wild animal, if it's a mammal, okay? What's the first food of these babies?
Well, in
Even
nature, it's
whales.
milk. It's mother milk.
It's milk.
Yeah.
It's milk, okay? Milk is not bad, okay? And again, doctors have overstepped the facts, okay? Just like the cholesterol thing. They've overstepped the facts here because they don't know, so they just make up something so they want you to think they know everything. They don't know. But when you're going to give your kids the kids toddy and the cow toddy, you want to be sure to give them the EFAs, so they're getting the EFAs. Now our EFAs, our oils are different than anybody else's because these are extracted from seeds, freshly picked, and we do it in a nitrogen-filled room. There's no oxygen in the room. We flush the soft gel capsules with nitrogen before we fill them with this oil that has been extracted from the seeds in this nitrogen-filled room. We then seal those capsules. We flush the bottle with nitrogen before we put those capsules in there. And we flush it with nitrogen again before we seal it. And when it's sitting on our shelf for 2 weeks or a month, that oil has been in nitrogen for every second that it's been out of the seeds. It cannot oxidize. So our oils are the only safe oils on the market because of our process. Nobody else goes through this machination to do this. We're the only ones. We are legendary for doing this, okay? Because we know that you must take care of that oil very, 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 because this is your baby, okay? The deficiencies of these things cause many diseases in babies. Asthma is not an autoimmune thing. It's not a genetic thing. Asthma is a nutritional deficiency. I can get rid of asthma. I don't care if they've had it. Oh, my kid, he's 12 years old. He has asthma all his life. What's he taking? Well, he gets cortisone. Okay, well, you can keep on the cortisone for a while, but let's just add the kids toddy, the kids sprinkles, the cal toddy, and the EFAs, and let's just see what happens in 90 days. Usually within 2 weeks, they'll call and say, he doesn't have asthma anymore. He doesn't need the breathalyzer anymore. Oh my gosh, after 12 years of suffering, in just 2 weeks, it's gone. Because it was a nutritional deficiency. It's not an autoimmune thing. Asthma is one of the easiest diseases to prevent and get rid of. But why would a pulmonary doctor want you to get rid of it?
Right, it would take his clientele away. I mean, health is simple, folks. We just need to make sure that we're giving the body what it needs in raw ingredients, which is basically what we were created from, the minerals of the earth, and the body can do some amazing things. So now, of course, prevention is best, but Doc, you always say, as long as you're breathing air, it's not too late.
That's right. Just like Ray McGregor,
Breathing
he was in a coma for 8 years in a nursing home being fed through a G tube. The worst possible thing, and sure, made from all his oils. It's a miracle he lived as long as he did. And I think that was because he was getting some vitamins and some stuff through his IVs. I'm sure he was getting, vitamin A and vitamin C and vitamin D and that kind of stuff. He might have been getting some calcium, who knows? I'm sure he was getting sodium chloride because it's saline and so on. And so he was getting some stuff through his IVs 3 times a day, as well as the negative of his statin drugs, which he was still getting for that 8 years. And they milked his insurance policy for 8 years. It took me 3 days on our program to get him off of all the negative stuff and get him back to work.
That's crazy. Yeah, and something that I've noticed, Dr. Wallach, you look at the ingredients on baby formula, milk replacers, even for animals, and the ingredients in it include oils. The first ingredient.
Well, that's because they take the animal fat out and they replace it with oil, because in their minds, oil is safer than animal dairy fat. No, that's absolutely not true.
Fat does not create fat.
That is correct.
Yeah. Unless
you're frying with it. Now, if you fry, okay, fried fat, whether it's oils or fat from an animal, fat oxidizes and turns into trans fats, heterocyclamines, and acrylamides. They're extremely inflammatory. And that's what causes the plaque in the artery, because these oils start flowing through the bloodstream, and they're causing a contact inflammation of the arteries and the smaller arteries, coronary arteries in the heart, and arteries in the brain. So that's why people, first they get plaque in the arteries of their brain, they get plaque in the arteries of their heart, and plaque in the arteries of their kidneys. And that's why they get put on dialysis, because they can't pee and all kinds of stuff. All this stuff is going on here because they're eating fried foods, and they're eating margarine instead of butter, and they're not taking vitamins and minerals. They're eating everything that's made out of gluten. Things like oatmeal for breakfast is legendary. And then they go to a massage therapist who massages them with oatmeal, and they're absorbing the gluten through their skin. It's crazy. And I've taken people who, one pastor, Mike Freeman in Baltimore, Maryland, he was in a coma for 6 months. He had all kinds of, plaque in the arteries of his brain and all this kind of stuff. He belongs to the Black community, and he's eating all these fried foods and everything. And one of our wonderful distributors, Ms. Linda Tyler from Baltimore, he didn't have a G tube, so he couldn't give him this stuff through the G tube. So she and his wife together rubbed 2 cups worth of our plant-derived colloidal minerals on his back twice a day. And in 3 days' time, he got up and went back to work at the church. And he called me. So I flew out there, and we made a DVD and a CD of his story. It's called Praise the Lord and Pass the 90 is the CD and the DVD. It's kind of like Praise the Lord and Pass the Ammunition. Okay.
Great.
Praise the Lord and Pass the 90. So that DVD and that CD is available to tell Pastor Mike Freeman's story. It'll blow your mind. Most people, I tell these things, I can tell from, we have a smoldering order of those things. We get 2 or 3 orders a week for it. It's no big deal. But when you think about it, it is a big deal. And same thing, we just rubbed it on the skin. So we have so many people who are unconscious and they can't take this orally, and they don't have a G tube. So we just have the family rub these plant minerals, the liquid plant minerals on them. And the positive response is so great. Everybody should be giving out that CD, Praise the Lord and Pass the 90.
And you can find that CD at drjwallach.com. For those of you who are interested, that CD is there. But for majority of Dr. Wallach's most popular publications, you can find them on our AskDocLive.com website, where we have Dr. Wallach's publications. And we also have all of the products that you're going to be hearing about coming up as we continue our Ask Doc Live show. Now, I just want to remind everybody, if somebody shared this program with you specifically, get back with them. If you have any questions about ordering, they probably have their own special way of ordering. Our store at AskDocLive.com is for those who have never spoken to anybody about any of the products that are going to be mentioned here today. All right. So, Dr. Wallach, go ahead. You have one more thing?
I have one more thing before we go on to your next subject. Okay. This is very important. I'm going to give you something that's very, very scary. In 1918, 1919, during the Spanish flu, we lost 675,000 Americans died from the Spanish flu in a 2-year period. Most of them died in the first 4 months of the first year. Okay, 675,000. As of this morning, we've lost to the COVID-19 in only 18 months, 730,313. That's 53,313 more deaths in 18 months than the Spanish flu had in 2 years. 53,313 more deaths in 18 months than the Spanish flu had in 2 years. India, which has 5 times our population, our population is 332 million. India has 1.3 billion people. As of this morning, they only had 449,580 dead. We have, let's see here, we have 730,000 dead. We have 300,000 more dead than they have. And they have 5 times our population. They have 33,872,783 infections. We have 12 million more infections than they have. And yet we only have 1/5 their population. And it doesn't make sense, okay? Because what happens is here, they're eating differently than us. And I know 95% of the deaths in India are in the northern 9 states of India, 95% of all the deaths. The other 5% are in the 20 states and in the south and the 7 territories in the south. The deaths or excuse me, the infections in India, 87% are in the northern 9 states and 17% are in the southern 20 states and 7 territories. Why the big dramatic? This is a homogeneous country. All the people in India are the same, from north to south, east to west. They're all the same. It's not like here in America, we have 25 different nations in here. And so why is it that there's such a dramatic difference? Well, for 100 years, starting before the First World War, the northern part of India was occupied by England. They were drafting all their boys to fight for England's wars, and they taught them to eat wheat, barley, rye, and oats. They taught them to grow wheat, barley, rye, and oats in the north. In the southern 20 states and 7 territories, they live like Asians, and they grow rice and corn and sweet potatoes and beans and squash and seaweed. It's their diet, and it's just very dramatic.
Oh, most definitely. And the thing about it is it's not processed. They're not taking nutrients out and then fortifying something else with them. It's as nature intended.
Well, what should I say? They're eating seaweed, which is kind of like our fucoid Z and our Z radical. It has all those trace minerals in it that your bone marrow, your immune system needs to make the antibodies to fight the COVID. That's why we came out with the fucoid Z capsules. And if you prefer liquids, we have the Z radical, which is a liquid form of the fucoid Z. And then we have, of course, Ocean's Gold. I take 3 Ocean's Gold twice a day and 3 of the fucoid Z twice a day. I mean, I must take 90 capsules, tablets, and pills twice a day in addition to all my liquids. And so, like I say, I'm 83 years old. Most people think that I'm 50 when they look at me.
Well, prevention is the best cure, isn't it? That right, Dr. Wallach?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And doctors, just remember, as a student, they're taught, if you cure your patients, you lose a customer.
Right. That's crazy. Well, so we had somebody in the chat ask about hair analysis and how to get the hair analysis. And I want to refer them to your book, Rare Earth's Forbidden Cures, because in chapter 10, it has all the information that's needed to order a hair analysis. And this is through Dr. Malan's lab, isn't it?
Okay, if she receives the information, okay. It gives you an address to send it to. Be sure to put the check in there with it, because people call me and say, well, I sent my hair analysis in 3 months ago and I haven't gotten a result yet. Well, did you send a check with it? No. I wanted them to bill me. Well, that's why they didn't run your test yet. They're not going to run the test until they get the check. They've been, beat up too many times, and people didn't pay when they ran the test, so they don't run the test anymore until you send them the check. So follow the instructions in that chapter 10. I get a hair analysis every year as part of my health thing. I'd rather do a hair analysis every year than see a doctor every year, right? But I can take my own blood pressure. I can take my own blood sugar. I can take a test strip I buy from the pharmacy without a prescription and pee on it and see what's going on with my kidneys and all that kind of stuff. And so again, we have those 4 books that kind of precede this book, Rare Earths Forbidden Cures, but it was an obvious book that needed to be written. We sell a lot of those books because it goes into all the diseases you get when you're minerally deficient from the various mineral deficiencies. But also, you have to appreciate that you need to be supplementing with these things, because your plants that you're eating, that you get from the grocery stores, even if you go to a farmer's market, you don't know what he's fertilizing that soil with. It's certainly not wood ashes anymore. All right. And so you have to supplement to make sure you're getting everything. And the analogy I like to use here, Rebecca, is, do you know of anybody in your family, your friends or acquaintances or workmates? Do you know of anybody who puts dirt from Texas in their car, or Oklahoma in their car instead of oil? Well, come on, Rebecca. There's bound to be some oil in that dirt from Texas, Oklahoma, because those are oil countries, So there's bound to be some oil in that dirt. Well, why would you want to put oil in there for $1 a quart when you can get 10 cents a quart for the dirt?
No, it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah, well, see, that's the way it's working. When a doctor says, oh, just eat well, you get everything you need. It's the same principle. You're eating well, but you're not getting enough of everything, just like putting dirt from Texas in your car instead of a quart of oil. Why do you treat your car better than you treat yourself? I just scratch my head and say, these doctors have really figured out how to milk their insurance policies is what it amounts to.
Yeah. Oh, based on what I went through, Dr. Wallach, and then how simple it was to have a new life, it was crazy. And when people can't find the information about hair analysis in chapter 10, it's because it's in chapter 11. So I just wanted to get a little clarity in there. Is that what you wanted to mention, Ruth Ellen?
Yes, it was.
Well,
thank you
so much. So I have this fantastic crew of co-hosts on with us that are making sure everything is running smoothly in the background, giving you information that's in the chat for those of you who are here on live, and making sure that we can have this program without interruptions so that we can broadcast and have all of the replays on AskDocLive.com. So if you are interested in any specific date or just want to go on like a binge of Ask Doc Live, you can absolutely do that through all of the replays that we have there. Again, get with the person that invited you to this program if you have any information or if you want any additional information about the products that we will be speaking of. Now, Dr. Wallach, let's go ahead and go to the first hand before the top of the hour. I can't believe that we're already there. And Selena, go ahead and unmute yourself. You are on live with Dr. Wallach.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
So I am 51 years old. I weigh 136 pounds and I'm 5'3". And my major issue is TMJ. I get ringing in the ears, headaches, muscle pain, and the face, neck, and shoulders. I also have pain in my hip joints. I have a fungus under my toenails and hyperpigmentation on my facial skin.
Okay. Do you have any loss of pigment anywhere in your skin? Like little dots of yellow or white?
No.
Okay. Well, has anybody ever told you that you have osteoporosis of the skull?
I was learning that from your videos.
Yeah, you have osteoporosis of the skull. That's why you have tinnitus, ringing in the ears, and TMJ. You've got at least 4 different cranial nerves squeezed, and your spinal cord is being squeezed. Do you have gray or white or silver hair? You're coloring your hair?
I do. I have gray hair.
Okay. Do you have varicose veins or spider veins?
No, just a hemorrhoid.
Oh, you have a hemorrhoid? Okay. Well, that's a varicose vein in a funny place. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now the vein thing is and the hair thing is a red warning light. We actually have a CD out with 8 different red warning lights, but the one that I really get scared over is gray hair and varicose veins and hemorrhoids, because the nutrient deficiency that causes those symptoms is also the nutrient deficiency that causes a ruptured aneurysm in the brain and a ruptured aneurysm in the coronary arteries of the heart and the aorta. Okay, so this is what killed Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson had vitiligo when he was a kid. He was losing his pigment in his skin, and the doctors told his mother that it was genetic and there's nothing they could do about it. By the time he was 18 years old, he had white hair, so he had to either color his hair or wear a wig. And then by the time he was in his 20s, all his skin color went away, and he was white as typing paper. So that's why he put all these, before he would go out in public, he put all lipstick and all kinds of other makeup on his face, like tattoos all over his face, to make people think that that white background was part of a thing for his entertainment. And he wore the gloves with all the jewelry on it because his hands were snow white. It scared people to death when he'd go to shake their hands because he had this snow white skin, and they didn't know what it was. And the doctors said it was genetic. But then he died at age 51 of a ruptured aortic aneurysm. It was all predictable by all this loss of skin color, okay, loss of hair color. He had varicose veins and hemorrhoids, and he had all the symptoms of that deficiency. And the doctors just kept telling him it was genetic, 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 genetic. Wear a wig, color your hair, put gloves on, all this kind of stuff. But they never said, take the 90 essential nutrients, take extra of this nutrient. And people say, what is it? What is it? Well, I used to tell people what those nutrients were, regardless of what their disease was. Diabetes, high blood pressure, vitiligo, gray hair, varicose veins, high blood pressure, diabetes. I would tell them what that nutrient was. They would run to the health food store and they'd buy that one nutrient. And then 3 months later, I hadn't heard from them. So I called them up and say, hey, Lucille, whatever happened to Frank? I haven't heard from one. Well, he died a month after you told him what nutrient to take. Did he not take all 90? No, he just took that one nutrient. That's why he died, because he made a bad choice. He thought, oh, why would I take 90 when I could just take the one? Okay, everybody makes that mistake. I can see where their thinking is, but it's wrong thinking. You still have to take oxygen, even if you need calcium for your bones. How do you get oxygen? Well, you breathe oxygen that's been prepared for you by green plants with chlorophyll. How do you make sure that the green plants with chlorophyll make oxygen? Well, you need to have house plants in every room that has a window. You don't have to have ones with flowers on it, but you want house plants that have, it could be in churches, it could be your workplace, in your bedroom, in your bathroom, your kitchen, your living room, your kids' playroom. And then you want to water them with 2 ounces of our plant-derived colloidal minerals and a pint of water twice a week. They're going to get the nutrients necessary. There's 20 nutrients required for a plant to make oxygen out of carbon dioxide. You can have all the chlorophyll and all the sunlight you want, but if you don't have those 20 nutrients, the plant's not going to make any oxygen for you. And that's why we have so many things happen. That's why people get depressed at home, because there's no oxygen in the house. That's why we have a product called Oxybody. It's a liquid, tastes good, kids like it. Before they do their homework, give them, if they're a little kid, give them a half ounce of Oxybody, half hour before they do their homework. Or if they're, a teenager, give them a full ounce of Oxybody before they do their homework. Before they go to school, give them an ounce of Oxybody, and they'll do much better at school. Okay, because they need the oxygen. And so I hope that helps you out there. But you weigh
136.
Okay. Oh yeah, here we go. 136. I have my thumb on it. 136. And so you have some peripheral stuff going on also, say in your hip and so forth. Do you have any low back stuff?
I get achy.
Okay. Okay. So here we go. None of the bad foods, and this is for yourself and all our other listeners and everybody. You need to get off of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils of any kind, no gluten, no wheat, butter, rye, oats. Live like an Asian: rice, sweet potatoes, beans, squash, seaweed. That's the fucoid Z and the ocean's gold, the Z radical. You need to also take the MSM. I would go ahead and say you want to 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. Get rid of all the bad stuff. Take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose of everything twice a day, full dose of breakfast, full dose of dinner time. Then I want you to get 1 bottle of our MSM, so you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner time. And that's going to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between a vertebrae, bone makes bone cell. That includes the skull and your hips and your joints in your jaw and everything. Your hair color will start to come back because the nutrients are in there. And you're absorbing the nutrients when your hair color is coming back and the hemorrhoids go away. Then I also want you to get our Cal Toddy. Start out with a half ounce of that twice a day. Put it in your liquid drinks. And if you get a diarrhea, just drop off the second half ounce in the evening and take the half ounce in the morning. That'll stop that. There's a lot of magnesium in there. Some people are sensitive to the magnesium. And I think that's going to cover everything here. This covers everything, everything. Yes. Okay.
What causes fungus under the toenails?
Okay, well, this is caused by, your immune system isn't being able to defend you. So this is where we call our hand sanitizer. It kills fungus from the outside. Okay, but also when you're taking all these nutrients, it makes your bone marrow happy. So it can make the antibodies to kill the toe fungus from the inside. Because it goes intravenous, right, and kills the toe fungus from the inside. You're going to use the hand sanitizer. I do this even though I don't have toenail fungus, but I'm out all the time, and who knows who are spitting on the ground and dropping COVID-19 everywhere. And so when I shower every night, I put the hand sanitizer in between my toes. And then during the day, if I'm going to go out, I put about an ounce of this hand sanitizer in between my toes of each foot. Okay. And so I use about 2 ounces a day, twice a day. Once when I wake up in the morning, once when I shower. And if I go out, I do it a third times a day. And my socks are just soaked in the hand sanitizer so that it's constantly killing any fungus or yeast or viruses or anything I might pick up by walking around through them. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Well, God bless. And please come on in 2 weeks and 4 weeks and 6 weeks and give us, a report, because your testimony is going to help a lot of people.
Okay, will do.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Selena, for coming on. You have so many things that so many other people are going through also. So you coming on and sharing with us and allowing Dr. Wallach to share the alternatives is really going to help a lot of people. And again, like Dr. Wallach said, come back, check in with us and let us hear how you're doing. Well, Dr. Wallach, we're at the top of the hour. Let's go ahead and take a 5-minute break. So everybody get up and stretch. And we will be back in 5 minutes. Again, you are watching Ask Doc Live. This program is being brought to you by AskDocLive.com. And we want to be a resource that shares light and hope that there are other alternatives to obtaining better health. So go get yourself a drink, do what you need to do, but don't go too far because we'll be right back. All right, thank you everybody for sticking here with us. It is a fabulous, fabulous day to be able to share, like I said, hope and light for different for alternatives to obtaining better health. I mean, we make it complicated. Medical community makes it complicated, but it really is not complicated, folks. Having good health and living into the golden years and still feeling golden is so obtainable, but it takes intention in making sure you're giving your body what it needs to be able to continue to regenerate those cells in a healthy way, or even healthier than they are today. So I know for myself, at 50 years old, I feel younger than I did when I was in my late teens. And that is just phenomenal because I'm able to play now more with my grandkids than I did with even my older kids. And my oldest son had mentioned that to me our first winter in our new home. He thought it was just fabulous how I was outside playing in the snow, going up and down the hills and sledding with the kids. So that brought tears to my eyes because he remembered that I wasn't able to do that. But it's so easy, Dr. Wallach.
We're back.
Yes. It's so easy to be able to have health and no or less pain as we get older. So
Yep.
Let's go ahead and go to our next hand that is up, and that is Michael. Michael, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Actually, it's not Michael. This is
and
Carol.
See, on this one, I can't see.
It's okay.
I can't see the pictures. So when I said that, welcome back. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Well, sort of.
Okay, Carol, how can we help you?
I wanted to talk with you about Parkinson's. Let me just say first, I'm 5'7", 107 pounds. I'm 71 years old. And my biggest issue right now is Parkinson's. And I have sub-issues of Hashimoto's and osteoporosis. So I'm hoping to get some help here.
So you got Parkinson's, thyroid issues, and osteoporosis.
Correct.
Okay. Any high blood pressure, diabetes?
No,
Okay, you don't have high blood pressure, but you're dealing with it with drugs?
no.
Okay.
My blood pressure is not high.
Okay, good. All right. And you say osteoporosis, you're talking about your vertebrae. Have you shrunk any?
I have actually. I have shrunk a little bit.
Okay. And then what about, you have any ringing or tinnitus in your ears?
Occasionally.
Okay. What about dizziness, vertigo?
In terms of balance, sort of balance.
Balance. Mhm.
Yeah, sometimes balance issues.
Okay. And do you have any history of Bell's palsy or trigeminal neuralgia or gradual loss of vision?
Not really, no.
Okay. Um,
Sometimes my eyes get blurry, if that is
okay.
fine.
All right. And then anything going on in your hands or your feet?
I have a slight tremor in my right hand and the ring finger locks up sometimes.
Okay. So that might be called a trigger finger kind of thing. Okay. Yeah, well, first of all, you have osteoporosis of the skull. You probably already knew that.
Yeah.
You have osteoporosis of the skull, squeezing your spinal cord, also squeezing your 8th cranial nerve, which is causing the tinnitus, the ringing in the ears that comes and goes, and also the balance problem that comes and goes. And all the rest of this stuff is pretty standard. Parkinson's, there's about 6 different diseases that are brain diseases, and Parkinson's is one of, it's a broad one, it covers a lot of territory. And of course, sometimes all the tremors and everything goes along with the Parkinson's disease. Any other thing? You got the blurry vision. Okay, yeah, that goes along with the optic nerve being squeezed, ONA, optic nerve atrophy. The skull is squeezing the optic nerve. The skull is squeezing the 8th cranial nerve, and squeezing the spinal cord. Then you have osteoporosis everywhere else too. So this is kind of, you're very typical of this, and doctors don't realize, again, that all this stuff going on is related to osteoporosis of the skull. And that's why we came up with the book, It's All in Your Head. It deals with 25 different diseases that are caused by osteoporosis of the skull, squeezing those 12 pairs of cranial nerves and the spinal cord. So you need to get rid of all the bad foods. And you're probably doing a lot of this already, but this is also for the rest of our viewers and listeners. Absolutely no bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, butter, rye, oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go because you need stomach acid to be able to deal with absorption of iron and B12 and to digest proteins into amino acids and so forth. So you need that. And so we don't want to be neutralizing this stomach environment. It needs to be acid. Do you have anything going on with your heart, any irregular heartbeat or fast heart rate or AFib or anything like that?
No, my heart's okay.
Okay, good. But see, well, when you have those things, the heart is okay. That's because the skull is squeezing, okay, is squeezing the 10th cranial nerve, which controls the rate and rhythm of the heart. Do you ever have any hiccups or anything like that?
No.
Okay, good. All right, so none of the bad foods. And then I want you to, let's see, you're at, looking down to my weight, you weigh 90 pounds?
107.
107, okay. 107, oh, there it is in the upper left-hand corner, 107 pounds, okay. You weigh 107 pounds. So I want you to take 1 Healthy Branded Heart pack per month. I want you to also get another bottle of our selenium, not from Walgreens or the pharmacy or anything like that. Our selenium has 5 cofactors in there. It's very important that you get those cofactors. So when you get that extra bottle of selenium, you'll be able to take 3 twice a day or 2 or 3 times a day for a total of 6 a day. You're going to see your hair color come back and the hemorrhoids will go away. And so then you know you're absorbing those nutrients. And then that's the first signs you're going to see. And then I also want you to have, let's see here, I want you to have our MSM. I want you to get 1 bottle of our MSM, so you can take 3 of those twice a day or 2 or 3 times a day for a total of 6 a day. And they're designed to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between vertebrae, bone breaks, including in the skull, vertebrae, and so forth. And Then because you have thyroid issues, I want you to take 3 of our Fucoid Z capsules twice a day and 3 of our Ocean's Gold capsules twice a day. That's going to give you all these weird trace minerals from the ocean, which is in the seaweed. They're from 2 different oceans. That's why I personally I only weigh 142 and I take 3 of each
Nice.
twice a day myself. And so that's going to support your thyroid when you have Hashimoto's, okay? And for the Parkinson's specifically, I want you to eat 3 eggs twice a day. They have to be soft yolk, soft boiled soft yolk, soft poached soft yolk, soft scrambled butter. I also want you to have our de-stress capsules. Take 3 of those twice a day. It's 2 bottles a month. You take the Ultimate Niacin Plus, 1 bottle a month will do, because you can take 1 at breakfast, 1 at dinner time. If you take 2 at one time, you'll get a hot flash. So you want to just take 1 twice a day, 1 at breakfast, 1 at dinner time. Let's see here. I think that's where we're going to start. This covers a lot of territory. If I didn't say it, you do need the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. I'd go with the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. That's going to help you with blood flow to your brain, blood flow to your heart, blood flow to your bones, blood flow to your liver, all that kind of stuff. So why don't you do that? Why don't you also take the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets to make sure you're getting the circulation properly. And go ahead and take 3 of those twice a day or 2, 3 times a day, whatever's easier for you. But once you get everything under control, you might be able to cut this by 30% and have just a little bit less of everything, but you can't give up everything because you still need everything,
Yeah.
right? It's one of those things where you need it. And that's why you check the air on your tire every time you go into, or you should, every time you go into a filling station, you check your oil levels. Because, well, I put it in there 6 months ago. Well, how do you know what's in there now? So you test, you check your oil level with the dipstick and you check your air pressure in your tires. You need to do the same thing for yourself. And so do a hair analysis like once a year. If you haven't ever had a hair analysis before, it wouldn't hurt to get one, kind of establish a base where you're at now. And so when everything gets better, it may take 90 days, do another one. And they'll say, oh my gosh, this is really improved. And then after that, you just do once a year kind of, as a checkup kind of thing. And if you do the longevity business as a business, as part of your business model, your home office plan, your business will pay for your supplements as part of your health plan, because your business can pay for your insurance policies, your doctor's visits and everything, and any prescriptions you need. And you can write it off your taxes because it's part of your business plan that your longevity business will pay for all that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate
Well, please keep we'll keep in touch, because we have so many people with, like, you've got 5 or 6 different things going on here. And, if your doctor's going to send you all his golf buddies and tennis partners and classmates for, all these specialists, so they get in on it. Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Love to hear from you, Carol.
All righty.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Carol. Now, Dr. Wallach, I have a message that came in to me. And so Kieran has been taking the products and she's just absolutely loving them. And she's signing up as a distributor. And her first individual that she wants to get information on, Dr. Wallach, is her daughter. She's 29 years old. She's 7 months pregnant. And tests have shown that there is a genetic spectrum connected to, or there's a chance that the child, they're showing that it already has signs of being on the autism spectrum.
Autism, yeah.
So and they said there's lots of indicators, and she wants to know exactly
how much does she weigh? Do we know?
We do not know.
Okay, well, let's go by 100. Let's go by 100 pounds. Okay, she's got to immediately begin, especially if, do you know if she's going to plan on breastfeeding this baby?
I do not know.
Okay, well, let's assume for a minute that she's going to breastfeed the baby. Otherwise, she'll have to put all this stuff into the kids toddy and the EFAs Cowtide and stuff like that into the Enfamil and Similac or whatever other milk replacers she's going to be giving them. Let's assume for a minute that she's going to be breastfeeding the baby. So she needs to get off all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, butter, rye, oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. The diet one's got to go. And then I want her to have per 100 pounds of body weight, 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month. If she weighs 120 pounds, she can stick with that. If she weighs 150, she needs to go with 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. And I also want her to have the, let's see here, MSM. I want her to have 1 bottle of MSM so she can take 6 a day. She can take 3 twice a day or 2, 3 times a day, whatever easier for her. That's going to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between vertebrae, bone makes bone itself, not only for herself, but also for her embryo. And then she needs some extra vitamin D3. Go ahead and get 2 bottles of that a month. So you can take 3 of those twice a day. And then I want her to have the de-stress capsules. She can take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. I want her to have 1 Ultimate Niacin Plus tablet at breakfast and 1 at dinner time. Is 1 bottle a month. I also want her to have our HGH. Our HGH. That is a supplement that's designed for people just like this. It deals particularly with the pituitary gland and the hypothalamus, which deals with all these things that they're worried about in this embryo. Okay, so she can take 5 of those HGH twice a day. That'll take her a bottle a month, 1 bottle a month. It's a big bottle, so she can do 5 twice a day, the HGH, and that's going to, not only her brain, but also the baby's brain. And let's see here. Oh, if I didn't say it, she needs to take 3 eggs twice a day with soft yolks so that baby's hypothalamus is getting all that cholesterol. 75% of the brain weight is cholesterol. If she's been avoiding cholesterol and eating margarine and that kind of stuff, and not eating butter and not eating eggs and not eating dairy and not eating cheese, this is part of the reason why this baby has these problems. Okay, and we talked about this when we first started, that the time to start taking supplements is a year before you get pregnant, not 7 months into it, because 7 months into it, okay. And so we just keep our fingers crossed. I have taken kids that were born with Down syndrome, and all the doctors, had told his mother, you better be getting an abortion because this is not good. This is a very severe case of Down syndrome. And we've got, the 3 screen tests, we've got the scans, and they all say very severe Down syndrome. She refused to do it. So we got her baby on it, a little boy baby on the program because she wasn't going to breastfeed the baby. So we gave him all these supplements through, the milk replacers. And in 90 days, he was perfectly normal.
Yeah.
We were able to.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic, Dr. Wallach, that God blessed you and your brain and gave you the experiences that you've experienced in your lifetime to be able to share with others.
Well, thank you for that kind words. And of course, we have pictures of this guy now. And he just graduated college, engineering school. And he was he had to be in the reserves. He's from Texas, so he had to be in the reserves. And we have him in his military uniform, big 6-foot, handsome young man, just graduating school as an engineer and in the military. You never, in your wildest dreams, looking at him, think he was born a Down syndrome baby. Just a genius, very handsome and so forth. I get breathless every time I see his picture because of the good things we're able to do for him and his family. And so I'm collecting these sorts of things to put into another book. And I'm very, very excited about that because it's going to be called The Third Testament. This book is going to be called The Third Testament. It goes into all the miracles of the Old Testament, all the miracles of the New Testament. The New Testament was written over 2,000 years ago. It's time for, an update. What about all the things that occurred before the Old Testament, things that they couldn't explain? Well, we have the explanations now about trilobites and dinosaurs and all that kind of stuff. And so that's going to be on the front of the book, okay? And leading up into the Old Testament, leading up into the New Testament, and then the Third Testament is all these weird things that we're able to do. We're going to give God, we're going to give God all the credit. We're giving God all the credit.
Absolutely. And you know, when we're working with people that have any type of, you know, symptoms of being on the spectrum or mental illness, you give the body what it needs, and you're going to help them be the best they possibly can be.
Yeah, even if they
And
only,
the way
even if
that-
they, yeah, even if they only improve 25%, that's a lot for somebody who's
lot.
having these troubles. Yeah, that means a lot.
I mean, that goes from non-functioning to functioning.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
5%. Yeah, it's incredible, Dr. Wallach. Well, let's go to our next hand that is up, and this is Lori. And Lori, I'm glad that you raised your hand because you have put a lot of things in the chat. So Lori, you are on live with Dr. Wallach, my dear.
I
Hello,
can't.
Lori.
I've been following you for a while, but hi, Dr. Wallach. I just turned
Hi.
60. I am 5 foot. I used to be 6 foot, and I've lost an inch.
So you're 5 foot. So you're
I
5
weigh
foot 11.
probably 100 and yeah, I'm 5'11". I weigh 190 pounds right now. I grew up in a household with 2 heavy smokers. My years from 12 to 21, our house had mold in it. And even though I asked them to be taken out of that room, they did not. They didn't understand. I had 22 mercury fillings removed in the 80s when they had the whole AIDS epidemic, and they were changing all the dentists needed money to pay for all their sterilization equipment, and then he put 22 mercury fillings back in my mouth. I used to work for Honeywell, where I had worked with mercury, lead, and freon.
Well, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a
Yeah.
question. Have you ever had a hair analysis done and look at the amount of toxic metals you may have accumulated?
I had one a long time ago. I don't even remember. But it's funny as you say something about my hair. My hair has changed colors through on and off in my life. For like right now, look how light it is. I am down by the beach.
Well, do you have any varicose veins or hemorrhoids?
I have a hemorrhoid. I know I
Okay.
have osteoporosis. I have I had all my wisdom teeth, or I had all my wisdom teeth taken out, and I have cavitations.
Okay.
I just I'm on disability now because I just kind of given up.
Okay, well, don't give up. You come to the right place at the right time. Let me ask you another couple of questions here so we can get right down to it.
I also had a major exposure to rat poison when I rented a townhome in Boulder.
Well, that's why I want you, how long ago was that?
2009.
Okay, well, that's why I want you to get a hair analysis. Okay, I want to know how much mercury, how much lead, how much uranium, you know, all these bad metals and things. I want to know how much of that you have. But my major urgent concern here is, do you have any ringing in your ears, any tinnitus or buzzing or roaring in your ears?
I have had problems with my, I have clenching, ringing in the, I have ringing in my ears. I have sharp pains I get in my left ear really bad. I used to have them when I was a kid too. My mom would blow smoke in there to get rid of it.
Okay.
But yeah, now it's really light, but it's gone from, I've had 4 mold exposures.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you have to appreciate.
And I have osteoporosis. I broke my back. I had depth perception issues after the rat poison, and I fell and broke my back 3 times. Some of it's the left and right communication issues. I don't.
Okay. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
we need to get to it because we've got a line of people here. So I need to, I understand your story. But I want you to get a hair analysis so I can know about the toxic metals because you had all these exposures. I want to see what you got in you. Okay. And then you've got these early warning signals. The red warning light is on. The white hair. Do you have any varicose veins or spider veins? You do have hemorrhoids. You told me that. Okay.
I lost 3 units of blood in April.
Were you bleeding?
My colon did shut down and I had black stool. I just had a camera capsule. I haven't heard the results yet.
Okay. All right. So we'll hope it's just gluten issues. Do you have any skin problems, any eczema, dermatitis, or psoriasis?
Yeah, some, and I do have, like you said, the brown spots on my hand.
Okay, all right. So here we go. Again, chapter 11 of the book, Rare Earths and Cures, how to get a hair analysis, get that done. That'll tell us a lot. Tell us exactly, specifically what to do for any accumulated toxic metals or other toxins. Then at 190 pounds, I want you to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. Full dose, everything twice a day. I also want you to get 2 bottles a month of our MSM. So you can take 3 with breakfast, 3 with lunch, 3 at dinner time. You can do that because they're big bottles. And they're going to design to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between vertebrae, bone breaks, bone itself. You're going to get rid of the osteoporosis and tinnitus and ringing in the ears. And people forget that your jawbone and your cheekbones are all part of your skull. So when you have osteoporosis of the skull and you get osteoporosis of the face, if you're a teenager, you have to go to the orthodontist because your teeth are floating around in there because you have osteoporosis of the face when you're a teenager. Did you go to the orthodontist when you were a teenager?
No, but that's why they told me I needed to take my 6 wisdom teeth out because my teeth were too tight.
Yeah, there
and
you go.
I had an infected tooth.
There you go. Okay. Yeah, they get clumped up against each other and so forth. Yeah. Okay. That all goes with osteoporosis of the skull. And so then I want you also to have our Cal Toddy. Start out with a ½ ounce at breakfast, a ½ ounce at dinner time. So that 1 quart's going to last you a month. And I also want you to get our vitamin D3. There's vitamin D3 in the Cal Toddy, but I also want you to get more. So I want you to get our vitamin D3, get 2 bottles of that. So you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner time. And I know you have a limited income, where I say 2 of this, 2 of that. If you can only afford 1, that's what you get. Just, you can afford 1, but I'm giving you the ideal. And then let's see here. Let's just go there. I don't want to overload you because of the financial issue. What I gave you covers the waterfront because there's a lot of stuff in the 2 healthy brain and heart packs and the MSM. I would throw one more thing in there. That would be the de-stress capsules. Take 3 of those twice a day. It's 2 bottles a month. It's the de-stress capsules. That's for brain function and so forth, brain metabolism. And be sure you're eating 3 eggs twice a day with soft yolk, soft boiled, soft yolk, soft poached, soft yolk, soft scrambled and butter. Hard-boiled eggs don't count, and fried eggs cause cancer. But when you get the results of this colon study, let us know what they found or what they didn't find. Hopefully we keep our fingers crossed. There's
Had
nothing.
a couple parasites in it.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what they find. Okay. Well, we're not going to make a judgment until we get the results of the test. When you say I had parasites, well, it's possible. The parasites are very efficient. When they're sucking your blood, they don't let it leak out of you on the other end because they want to get it all. And so people get anemic when they get intestinal parasites, but they really bleed out of the rectum when they get parasites. Okay. So
yeah,
that's
my hemoglobin was 4.5.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah. So you're not absorbing. And so I'll throw one more thing in here. You have to have our pink Himalayan salt. I want you to take a ½ teaspoon with breakfast and a ½ teaspoon with dinner. It has 70 something. I think it's got 78 minerals in it, plus the sodium chloride. If your doctor tells you to stay away from salt, change doctors. Okay, because you cannot absorb nutrition, you cannot digest proteins, you cannot keep your stomach sterile, you cannot do all the things you need to do if you don't have salt. Salt is an essential nutrient, sodium chloride. There's actually a special cells in your stomach called chief cells that turn salt into stomach acid so you can digest food and absorb iron and B12. God gave you a special little piece of cells, special cells that are designed to break down salt into hydrochloric acid in your stomach. And if you're not taking salt, that can't happen. You wind up with all kinds of problems. So any doctor who says stay away from salt, and they actually came up with that in the early 1900s when people were getting diagnosed with congestive heart failure and edema of the legs. And they knew if they cut salt out, it helped them quickly resolve the edema in the legs. And they said, well, salt's bad for you. Everybody stop using salt. And they should all have been put in jail for that. Salt is 2 essential nutrients, sodium and chloride. Okay.
I have Himalayan sea salt.
Okay.
I have a hard time with follow through with the brain, and maybe that's just a nutritional deficiency of following through with the food and the gluten.
It is. So you may have to type things out and scotch tape it to your icebox and say, okay, you go down, so you have a list that you're looking at every meal and every day and making sure, you know, that you're checking off everything on that list. You understand what I'm saying? If that's a problem with you, then you have to have a list on your refrigerator and you have to look at that
I
list
don't
every
have a
time.
refrigerator. I have a cooler and I live in a van. I'm on
Okay, well,
disability.
okay, well, then you put the list on your cooler or you put it on your dashboard or, you know, wherever you sit and eat. Okay. All right, then give us a call every couple of weeks. We'd love to hear from you. You're going to have a great story if you're able to follow up with all this. And there's so many people your age that have these problems that they are going to want to know what you did and how it worked for you. Okay.
Yeah, I've been trying to run a business and I haven't been able to follow through.
Okay, well, you will. Well, after you get started here and you're healing and you have a great story, you'll be able to sign up people because you'll have a great story. So, okay, Lori, tell us what you did. And so we want to do the same thing. And it'll be easier because when you're telling people I'm not working and blah, 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 they don't want to be like you. Okay, so you have to be successful in their minds for them to want to be like you, both successful in health and be successful in finances. And so we got to work on that. Then they will want to be with you. Okay, that's the reality of things. Okay,
I did just order
the healthy brain and heart pack.
No, I all I could afford was that orange drink with the peach in it for this month. Because I had to go to Austin and spend a couple $100 on hotels for the test.
Yeah, the tangerine.
Well, yeah, well, do what you can do. You have the recipe. And of course, as everybody comes down to that, you do what you can do, even though you don't have the full recipe here. You start out with what you can do and you grow into the other pieces, you know, over a period of a month or two, if that's what it takes.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Look forward to hearing from you, Lori.
All right. Thank you so much, Lori, and best wishes to you. And for anybody that is on the call or listening to this program who has not been referred by somebody specific, you can go to askdoclive.com and use the contact us, and we will get you in contact with one of our certified holistic health coaches who can help put together a protocol based on Dr. Wallach's recommendations, designed to fit your needs and your budget. And speaking of certified holistic health coaches, I'm excited, Dr. Wallach, you will be joining us for the 6th graduation of certified holistic health coaches from the Institute of Holistic Health.
Yeah, that's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow. And this program is available to anybody and everybody, not just distributors. So get with the person that referred you to this program, or go to askdoclive.com and use the contact us to get more information about that program. Now, Dr. Wallach, here's a really good question that goes back to the hair analysis, which the hair analysis is only $100. And I have not been able to find anywhere else where you can get a hair analysis for $100. But the question is, can the hair analysis be done on colored hair?
Well, they actually have a space in there. Do you color your hair and so forth, so they know to adjust for that? Okay. And so, yeah, you should answer that question when you send in the hair analysis. Okay. Because when you look in chapter 11, okay, not 10, chapter 11, when you look in chapter 11, chapter 11, yeah, it'll tell you what you need to do to meet the requirements to get that hair analysis done accurately. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. Let's go to the next hand that is up, and that is Lance. Lance, go ahead and unmute yourself. You are on live with Dr. Wallach.
Okay, good morning, Dr. Wallach.
Good morning, Lance. How can we help you?
Thanks for taking our call, and I just want to tell you we appreciate the work you're doing, and you are slowly changing how people think about health, and we really appreciate that.
Well, thank you for that update. How can I help you today?
Okay, I have 2 questions for you. The first one, she's 69 years old, 120 pounds, 5'4". She has a hiatal hernia. She has gallstones, gray hair with varicose veins, itchy skin, And one spot on her face that they're telling her is precancerous, and also blood in the stool, but the test came back no cancer and no polyps in the colon. And
It could be from
also,
hemorrhoids.
okay, and also weight around the torso, but thin legs and thin arms.
Okay, but she's only 120 pounds.
Correct.
Any high blood
Yeah.
pressure or diabetes?
No.
Okay,
She does have high blood pressure once in a while. She gets spikes.
okay, all right. Well, first of all, she got to get rid of all the bad stuff. That goes without saying. Everybody in her household, dog, cat, bird, fish, spouse, roommate, kids, brothers and sisters, mom and dad, everybody in the household, so there's no cross-contamination in the food preparation surfaces, the laundry, the couches, the beds, absolutely no gluten. Then I want her to take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month because she's got a lot going on here. And this is good for her heart, her brain, her liver, because of the gallbladder issues. I want her to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose, everything twice a day. I want her to have 1 bottle a month of our MSM, so you can take 3 twice a day, and that'll support and promote maintenance, repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, including the skin and arteries and veins and so forth. Cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue. Then I also want her to have let's see here. I want her to have, and there's stuff in the 2 healthy brain and heart packs that are going to help the liver be happy and healthy and stop making gallstones. Very specific for that. Then I want her to have the hair, skin, and nails. I want her to have 2 bottles a month of the hair, skin, and nails, so she can take 3 of those twice a day. That'll make a big difference in her hair and the skin. I also want her to take 2 bottles a month of our Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner time. That's going to support healthy blood pressure levels and support healthy blood flow through blocked arteries in her coronary arteries in the brain and kidneys or wherever else it might be. Oftentimes when they get periodic spikes of blood pressure like that, it can be due to blocked arteries in the kidneys, and the kidneys will release, I'm hearing like a radio in the background or something. I'm hearing a lot of talking. Okay. So at any rate, need to be sure to deal with that. Everything has got, none of the bad stuff. And again, the high blood pressure thing will resolve itself very quickly, whether it's because the kidney arteries being blocked or the arteries being blocked in various places. And if it happens only periodically, that's easy to deal with. Okay, Rebecca, we're getting a lot of chatter somewhere.
All right, I'm looking for it, Dr. Wallach, and I don't.
Actually, Rebecca, I think it is oh my gosh. From Lance's, it's like an echo of Dr. Wallach when he's speaking.
Oh.
So it's not something that we can fix without muting Lance, and then we'd have to unmute him each time that he has questions.
We can do that. So Lance, did you have one more question?
Yes. Okay. The next one is 140 pounds, age 70, 5'10", and he's got lipid tumor, one big one on his back shoulder and one on the toe. And he does have gray hair and spider veins, and also tendonitis and hard to swallow and a little bit sore throat.
Okay. Well, he's got osteoporosis of the skull. Okay, because that's the glossopharyngeal nerve being squeezed, the 9th cranial nerve being squeezed by the skull, where that causes you to not be able to swallow well, and your tongue doesn't work and so forth. That's the 9th cranial nerve being squeezed. And let's see here, the white hair, okay, and the varicose veins and spider veins and all that kind of stuff, that has to do again with a single nutrient deficiency. And that deficiency can also cause aneurysms and all kinds of weird stuff, including benign fatty tumors, because the connective tissue doesn't work very well. And so at 140 pounds, I want him to have 2 healthy, none of the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, bread, rye, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go. And then I want him to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose, everything twice a day. I want him to have 2 bottles a month of the MSM, so he can take 3 with each meal. Okay, and that'll support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, including the walls of veins and arteries and skin and so forth, and tendons and ligaments and all the stuff he's having trouble with. And then also needs, I'd go with the Cal Toddy, start him out with a ½ ounce at breakfast, ½ ounce at dinner time, so 1 part will last. It has extra calcium, it's got the vitamin D3, it's got collagen and glucogel in it. It's a great supplement add-on for these sorts of things where these guys have all this extra stuff going on in tendons and ligaments and benign fatty tumors. Because the connective tissue isn't working well to keep things restrained properly. And let's see here. I think we have covered everything for energy. He could have the rebound or sports drink. He can have 2 doses a day. I wouldn't have one after 3 o'clock because it'll keep him up all night. And so let's go there for that guy. Okay, that's going to cover a lot of territory.
All right, thank you so much, Lance. So Dr. Wallach, we only have 15
I
minutes
think
and we have several hands up. So did you have something else that you wanted to add, Lance?
No, that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Let's hear from you in 2 weeks.
Okay,
All right, fantastic. Now, next, let's go to the next hand that is up, and this is Chess. Chess, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Is that Chet?
Chess.
Chest?
There we go.
Dr. Wallach, it's a pleasure talking to you.
Okay, how do you
Listen to you
pronounce
so
it?
many times. Chess.
Thank you.
Chess. Yeah.
Oh, chess, like a chess
Yeah.
game. Okay.
Yeah. I'm calling on behalf of someone. They are 215 pounds, 66 years of age, 6 feet 2 inches. He's got varicose veins, tinnitus, and hemorrhoid. But the other day, he told me that he went to the doctor because he'd seen blood in his urine, and they took a CT scan, and they said they found a little growth in the area where it's collected in the kidney, and they want to take out the kidney. So I'm calling you to see what you can do.
Okay, well, he needs to get another opinion. I'm not real big on taking kidneys out for, a benign thing that's maybe the size of a pea. And so I'd have him get another opinion from somebody at the other end of town or a medical school or something like that before he agrees to get his kidney removed. Okay. And they didn't do a biopsy. They just took an x-ray or a CAT scan or something like that, or some kind of scan, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And of course, does he have any high blood pressure or diabetes?
I don't think so, no.
Okay. All right. So let's go with what we got here. He needs to get rid of all the bad stuff. No fried food, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, bran, rhinos, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go. And then at 215 pounds, I want him to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, a full dose of everything twice a day. I want him to get 2 bottles a month of the MSM, so I can take 3 with breakfast, 3 with lunch, 3 with dinner time. And they're designed to deal with supporting maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc, between bone matrix, including the skull and all his bones in his body. Okay. And then for the kidneys, I want him to take the, and also the varicose veins and things, I want him to take the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. He could take 3 of those 3 times a day. There's 3 bottles a month. And that's going to support healthy blood pressure and healthy blood flow through blocked arteries and all kinds of weird things going on in the varicose veins and so forth, and in the kidney. Because the kidneys, when they get things going on in the blood vessels and kidneys, the kidney will release a hormone called renin, which drives the blood pressure up, and the body does crazy things. And so I want to know what that thing is. Did they say the diameter of this thing in his kidney? Is it, 2 millimeters in diameter? Is it as big as a chicken egg?
They didn't say how much it is. They didn't say it doesn't spread anywhere and it's not cancerous.
Okay. So yeah, if it's not cancer, then I would get another opinion and see, without surgery, find out what it is if it's not cancer. And let's get some handle on this. But the kidney will, if the kidney gets disturbed, it will release a hormone called renin, which drives blood pressure up and so forth. If you have back problems, it squeezes the nerves that control the bladder. And a lot of times urinary problems, especially in men that have, prostate glands, the doctors will say, oh, you have a prostate problem. You need to take your prostate out, when really it's a back problem. And so we need more information here Okay, does he need, we need to find out more about that thing in the kidney, because if it's not malignant, we can have him take some of the Prost-FX capsules, 3 of those twice a day. And that's going to help with urine flow and all that kind of stuff.
What do you call it?
Prost, Prost-FX, Prost-FX. His weight, he could take 3 twice a day. I only weigh 142 and I take 3 twice a day. Been doing it for 25 years since we've had that program. And I don't have any problems in that area. You know, I urinate very well. I don't know, 3-4 times a day. I don't have to get up at night to go, but I do have a full bladder in the morning when I wake up.
You said also the Ultimate Daily Classic, is that what it's called?
Ultimate Daily Classic. Okay. Okay. Needs 3 of those. I'd go at his weight and having problems in his kidneys. I'd go with 3 times a day. So it's 3 bottles. Okay. 3 bottles a month to pull that off. And after we know what's going on and everything, and things are under control, he could drop it down to 2 bottles a month and cut it to 3 twice a day instead of 3 times a day. But in the beginning here, if they're, you know, wanting to do surgery and all this kind of stuff, and he's in distress, and we need to hit it with a little bit of a heavier hammer. Okay.
Okay.
Then give us a call every couple of weeks. Let us know, because I would say give us 90 days, because usually I've had people, like I say, haven't urinated, you know, in 10 years. And they're on dialysis 6 days a week for 10 years because they haven't urinated. Well, in 2 weeks' time, we get them urinating with this program. And so let's see how we do here. Okay.
Okay, I will.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you,
Okay,
Chess.
thank you, Chess.
Okay, welcome.
Let's go to the next, actually was the next comment, and I see she is the next hand as well. So she has some great questions for you. Cora, go ahead and unmute yourself, please.
Hello, Cora.
Can you unmute yourself, Cora? There you go.
Okay, there
You
we
are
are.
on live with Dr. Wallach.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi. How can we help you, dear?
Okay, good. Okay, I had went 30 years without going to the doctor. And 2 years ago, I ended that span by going. They told me I had a parathyroid issue, and blood work showed high calcium. I had to have my parathyroid removed last December.
Uh-oh. Did they leave one or did they take them all out?
They just took one out,
Okay.
and it was the size, maybe a centimeter. I'm sorry, a millimeter.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, what else? I weigh 235. I'm 5'6".
Do you have any high blood pressure? Do you have any high
No.
blood pressure or diabetes?
Nope. I have
Okay.
low vitamin D and I'm high cholesterol, according to their records.
Well, what's the number? 200?
You know what? I'd have to go on my chart and look.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
It was color coded, and I wasn't that much.
Yeah.
Past
Yeah. Okay.
the
Do you have any
normal.
joint? Do you have any joint or bone problems? Any clickety
Yes.
joints? Or?
Yes. A hip, severe hip, and then sometime when I turn my head, it cracks. And my
Okay.
chiropractor said, "Oh, it said that I had a cold in my head or something."
Okay. Let's see here. Do you have any ringing in your ears? Any tinnitus or ringing in your ears? Okay.
No.
Do you ever get hiccups?
Ooh, very, very, very rare.
Okay. Do you have any skin problems like eczema, dermatitis, or psoriasis?
No.
Okay. Do you have any gray, white, or silver hair? Are you coloring your hair?
I don't color my hair. Let's see. I think I said I'm 65. I've got a few gray hair. Yeah, I got some gray hair.
Okay. Well, it has nothing to do with age. It's a deficiency of a particular nutrient. And of course, that same nutrient deficiency can cause aneurysm. That was the cause of death. That nutrient deficiency was the cause of death of Michael Jackson. That's why he had so many skin problems and so forth.
Right.
And he had lost his skin pigment. His hair was white by the time he was 18 years old and so forth. He wore gloves so he wouldn't scare people with his white hands and so on. That wasn't just for his entertainment. Everybody thought, oh, he's got those jewel gloves on because, you know, it's magic on the stage and blah, blah, blah. No, he wore those gloves with the jewels on them because his hands were snow white like typing paper because he lost his ability to make pigment. He had whole body vitiligo. Okay. And so, okay, so let's go with this. Do you have any problems with your bowels? Any constipation, diarrhea, irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's disease, celiac disease, diverticulitis?
No.
Okay, good. All right. Well, get rid of all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no butter. I know you know the drill. No processed
Right.
meats, no, none of that kind of stuff. And no gluten, no wheat, bread, rye oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. And then at 235 pounds, you're 5'6". I'd like to see you for a woman weigh 150. So you really need to lose about 80 pounds. I want you to have one meal a day, our keto caramel bar. They come 10 in a box. You're going to need 3 boxes to go for a month.
What is it called? What kind of bar?
Keto, Keto,
Okay.
keto, like a keto diet, right? Keto
Yeah.
bar. I want you to get 3 boxes of that a month. It doesn't have to be the same meal every day, but it's a meal replacer. It's not add on to a meal. You skip a meal and replace it with that bar. Okay. You can drink water, but that's it at that meal, just water and the keto bar. Your other 2 meals, I want you to eat like an Asian: rice, sweet potatoes, things like beans, squash.
So you said skip a meal and replace.
You're gonna replace that meal with a keto bar.
With the keto bar.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
With one
Hello?
keto bar. We've already
hello?
talked about the keto bar.
I'm sorry, it froze for about okay, the audio
Okay, so
froze for
Cora,
about
yeah, Cora, you've got some connection issues, my dear. So you'll be able
okay.
to go to askdoclive.com and be able to hear the replay. So right towards the end, you'll be able to hear the replay and exactly what Dr. Wallach recommended.
Okay, he didn't happen to say healthy brain and heart pack or MSM or
Yes,
anything
I
like that,
did.
he?
I did. Yes, I did.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
I did.
See, I listen to you on Coast to Coast all the time,
Okay, good.
and I hear you recommend that.
Well, I'm gonna be on the 19th. I'm gonna be on the Tuesday, the 19th. Okay. But at any rate, yeah, get this, because yeah, you need 2 healthy brain and heart packs. You need 2 bottles a month of the MSM. You need, okay. And you also need the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, 3 of those twice a day. And you need 3 boxes a month of the keto bars. So you can take 1 bar in a meal. It's not, you're replacing the meal. You're going to give up a meal and replace that meal. It's not add on to a meal, but it's a meal replacer, a keto bar. You'll need 3 boxes. There's only 10 in a box. Doesn't have to be the same meal each day, depending on your schedule.
So
and then,
wait a minute, you're saying so not to eat any food, but take this bar?
just 1 meal. The other 2 meals you're going to eat like an Asian.
Okay. Okay. I got you.
And you can switch them around, right? Based on your schedule.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go there. That's a lot. And so we'll go ahead and look to hear from you next week. You might want to check your phone or your computer or whatever you're talking to us on.
I'm on the phone. I should be on the computer, but I'm on the phone.
Okay. Talk to you later, dear.
Okay, thanks.
You bet.
All right. Thank you, Cora. So Dr. Wallach, we got 5 more minutes. Let's try to get one more caller in.
Okay.
Let's go with Dee. Dee, go ahead and unmute yourself. I know you've had some great questions in the chat as well that we've tried to get some answers to. So Dee, go ahead. You are on live with Dr. Wallach.
Hi, how are you, Dr. Wallach?
Okay.
By Wilbert Mays. He speaks very highly of you. I'm impressed with your skills and your anointing.
Well, thank you.
I am, believe it or not, I'll be 62 next Tuesday. And I am 5'1.5". And my weight is probably 181, although I wear a size 8'10". I have chronic pain, joint pain. At least that's what they keep telling me. So I suffer like in the shoulders.
Okay. We only have a moment left, so I need to ask you a couple of quick questions here.
Okay.
Do you have any high blood pressure or diabetes?
No diabetes. I'm pre-diabetic, but no diabetes at all.
Okay. Do you have? Okay, stop. Okay. Do you have anything going on in your head? Do you have any ringing in the ears or buzzing or roaring in your ears?
No.
Do you have anything going on with your heart? Any fast heart rate or irregular heart rate?
Every once in a while, if I drink some black tea.
Okay. Do you have anything going on in your bowels? Any constipation, diarrhea, anything like that?
I cleanse a lot, but I can be constipated without any help.
Okay. Have you ever been diagnosed with irritable bowel syndrome, celiac disease, Crohn's disease, anything like that?
No.
Okay. No skin issues, no eczema, dermatitis, psoriasis. Okay, well, here we go. At 181 pounds, of somebody who's 5'1", 5'2", I'd like to see you weigh 110, 120. So you need to lose about 60 pounds to be right. So once you get one of those keto bars per meal, and one meal a day, one meal a day. The other 2 meals you eat like an Asian. You're going to replace one meal. This is not an add-on to the meal, but you're going to eliminate one meal. It doesn't have to be the same meal every day. And take a keto bar. You're going to need 3 boxes a month because there's only 10 keto bars in each box. There'll be 3 of those boxes per month. And so 1 keto meal per day. And that's not an add-on. It's a meal replacer. You can drink water with it, but that's it. The bar and water for 1 meal a day, be different meals. And then I want you to take, it's your body weight, 181. I want you to take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. I want you to take 2 of the MSM bottles per month. So you can take 3 with each meal. They will support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone makes bone itself. And since you mentioned pain as your big worry, we do have 2 topical pain relievers, which are not narcotics. One is CM cream. It does settle, so the cream goes to the bottom, water comes to the top. So every morning you're going to have to stir it up so it's uniform. And we have trauma oil in our division that has all the aromatherapy oils. And you can put 5 drops of the trauma oil and say a teaspoon of the CM cream and put that on your wrist, your neck, your shoulder, elbow, knee, any place that hurts, and you'll get about 2 hours of relief. We also have Soothe, which is our Hemp FX division. There's no THC in it, but it is CBD oil with other, herbs added to it. And so you can go ahead and take the trauma oil with that too. A teaspoon of that, it's in a little pump bottle, a teaspoon of that Soothe, or CBD oil Soothe, and put 4 or 5 drops of the trauma oil with it. And you'll get about 3 hours of pain relief with that. So I like to use that, say, 15 minutes before bedtime, after you take your shower and everything like that before bed. Put that on your knee or your hip or your neck or your elbow, wherever you're hurt, and you'll get at least 3 hours of good pain relief where you're sleeping. And so, give us a call in 2 weeks. Let us know what's going on. Give us an update, and we'll walk you through this, because your story is very common. We have literally millions of people in America with your same scenario, because this is a simple nutritional deficiency, and it goes along with eating gluten and so forth, and not supplementing. And so it's one of those things where if everybody, and you have pre-diabetes, so I'd also get 1 bottle a month of our Sweeties, 1 bottle of Sweeties, pre-diabetic, 1 bottle of Sweeties. So you could take 2 at breakfast and 2 at dinner time. And 1 bottle a month should do that. And that's going to get your blood sugar in line and so forth, so that everything's okay. And it can actually reduce your risk of getting diabetes. If you get diabetes, we're going to have to ramp up and go with 2 bottles a month, so you can take 3 of those twice a day. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to turn this back over to Rebecca. Well, let's hear from you in a couple of weeks, Dee.
All right, thank you, Dee. And we are at the end of our show of Ask Doc Live. For those of you who did not get your questions answered and you have never spoken to anybody about any of the longevity products, we do have a call team standing by at 855-949-7234, or you can go to AskDocLive.com, click on Contact Us, and send us an email. We'll have one of our certified holistic health coaches get back to you. But most importantly, if somebody referred you to this program, get back with them. They will have some information that they will be able to share with you to help you get the products that you need to intentionally choose a healthier tomorrow. So Dr. Wallach, thank you so much again for 2 hours with us. We greatly appreciate you.
Well, thank you so much, Rebecca and Ruth Ellen and Nasima and John T, the whole team. You guys are the greatest. We love you, and we really appreciate all the hard work you do. Thank you so much.
Yes, and thank you, Dr. Wallach. I was going to mention them next. Can't do this without them. They are absolutely fabulous, as you are. So we are on this crusade to help get your message across to the world, Dr. Wallach. Thank you again.
Thank you.
And everybody, thank you so much for joining us on Ask Doc Live. We will see you next week, same place, same time. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.